Today I'm going to read you an incredible storybook. This is book number 94. I hope you like it. It was the first day of school. Zach was waiting for his teacher to arrive. Boring, boring, he thought. Why would this year be any different from the last one? Then the door swung open. Good morning, class. My name is Miss Smith, and I am your new teacher. Before Zach could think of anything to do, Sue and Annie pounced on the storybook, but she didn't finish the dragon story. She started reading another one instead. The Princess and the Dragon and the Knight did not return to the book, but the tree, Three Bears and Goldilocks climbed out. It's broken. Freddie, the class clown, jumped out of his seat and turned to yank the book away. When Sue let go, he tumbled backwards and the book flew across the room. The whole class laughed. Miss Smith seemed very different from Zach's other teachers, but the day went along like every school day. Zach couldn't remember until Mrs. Smith said, "It's story time." When she sat at her desk and started reading from the book she had brought with her, Zach couldn't believe his eyes. The storybook's characters climbed out of the classroom, was swept up in the swashbuckling pirate's tale. Zach and the rest of his class were riding in the middle of the story. He could feel the breeze in the hair and hear the waves pounding on the side of the ship. From then on, Zach couldn't wait to go to school. Every day, there was a new story to look forward to. When Miss Smith finished reading, all the characters and adventures whooshed back into her book. One Friday, Principal Torrington stood in front of the class instead of Miss Smith. Miss Smith is stuck in traffic, so she has asked me to read to you until she arrives. He announces. Zach wondered what could happen next. Principal Riccarton started to read. Zach grinned when when a princess leaped out of the book. When a princess leaped out of the book, followed closely by a fire-breathing dragon and a brave knight on his horse. Principal Ritorentin was so surprised that all he could do was scream and throw the book up in fright. I'm going for help. I'm going for help, he called over his shoulder as he ran out of the door. Billy caught the book and started reading from a new story. Zack shook his head in amazement when the Mad Hatter and the Cheshire Cat and Alice.
Cheshire Cat.
How do you know?
It's a famous cat. Cheshire Cat.
Cheshire Cat and Alice Popper popped out to join the others. As the book passed from kid to kid, one character after another flew out of the pages. The classroom was getting very crowded. This is terrible, Zack said to himself. The chose was beginning to spill out.
What?
The chise.
But chose or chise aren't words. So if it's not a word that you know, you can't just move forward.
Chaos.
Chaos?
Yeah, chaos was beginning to spill out into the halls. Why don't you finish the stories, Zack? Zack played, but no one was listening. Pleaded.
If it says pleaded, it's pleaded. Played is played. Two different words.
Pleaded.
Yeah, to plead. Please, plead. Pleaded. When you plead someone to do something, you're asking them, please give it to me. I'm pleading. Played is something very different.
Thank you. Okay. Plead.
But if you read it and it doesn't make sense, if you're listening to what you say and it doesn't make sense, think about the word a bit more.
Okay. But no one was listening. Miss Smith brought her cat to a screeching stop in front of the school. Oh no! Three seems to be free. Oh no! There seems to be a little problem, she said to herself as she raced inside. Meanwhile, Zack was shouting, We have to finish the stories so the characters will go back into the book. But the storybook characters didn't want to go back. A tug of war began. Miss Smith appeared in the doorway. With one look, she let everyone know she meant business. Even the dragon was suddenly silent. Zack handed the book to Miss Smith. She ruffled through the pages, adjusted her glasses, and started to read. The class sat spellbound.
Is spellbound a word?
No.
So you can't move on until you've figured out what it means.
Spellbound.
Where?
There.
What's the first part of the word?
Spell.
Spell, yeah. The spell, magic spell, yeah. And the next part?
Bound.
Bound, yes. B-O-U.
It's bound. So, what do you think it is, Kato?
Well, B-O-U. Wait, upside down. Just make sure. Where?
There.
Yeah, B-O-U-N-D. B-O-U, bow-N-D. Bound. But you were saying Brownland. There's no R.
Spell brown.
There's no brown would there be an R there? There's no R.
Spellbound. As she finished each story.
Kato, you just have to read what's on the page. Can't be browned if there's no R in it. All I asked you to do was split up the two words. Can you look at the word, please, Kato? Look at the word. All I said was split the words up, and you said spell and bound. All I said is split it up, and you got it right. So just split up the words. You don't need my help. Spell bound. Read the sentence again.
The class sat spellbound.
Yeah. That just means they were really surprised.
Okay.
Sometimes by a spell or something fantastic happened. Spellbound.
As she finished each story in turn, with a swirl and a whoosh, one character after another disappeared into the book until the classroom was quiet and tidy again. Principal written rotten, and a team of firefighters skidded to a half at the door. Just a.
Can you say that again, please?
Skidded to a halt.
Halt means stop, to halt. Skidded to a halt. They skidded, and they stopped. Skidded to a halt.
Skidded to a halt at the door. Just as Miss Smith closed her book. May I help you, Principal Written and Rotten? Asked Miss Smith, but the principal couldn't seem to answer. He just started at the quiet class. Stared at the quiet class with his mouth wide open. Miss Smith flashed a secret smile at her class. Zach smiled right back. Who would ever have guessed what reading could be so much fun? The Clash. I hope you like my video.